Hello everyone, Niklsun here, and welcome back to Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. I'm your host, and today we're going to be talking about the Justice League set visit. Now, this is almost unprecedented, okay? The movie is still a year and a half from coming out. Now, set visits are not unprecedented. Almost every major film out there, with the exception of Star Wars, will have a set visit by a lot of the news outlets out there, a lot of the film bloggers and places like that, to just start to get a lot of the on-set experience so that when the movie is close to coming out, they can release their set visit reports and say, listen, this is what we saw going on when they were actually making the movie, okay? It was fun on set, there was a lot of energy, all this, that, and the other thing. Talking about it, making it, trying to pump up the excitement for the movie. But here's the unprecedented part. They revealed the set reports now. They revealed them a year and a half out. Now, this is to curb a lot of the response to BVS. I'm one of the people, I really liked BVS, okay? I thought that there were some issues, and I covered that in my spoiler discussion, my 40-plus minute spoiler discussion of the movie, where I talked about some of the things that didn't work, and even some of the things that other people thought didn't work that worked for me. Lex Luthor, to me, worked. But I can see where people didn't really understand or didn't like it, at least. But I think that the Ultimate Edition that's coming out in digital comes out next week. I think that's going to fix a lot of people's problems. I've heard from a couple of sources. It fixes a lot of problems with that movie. And again, just reiterates the thing that I've been saying for months. Zack Snyder's original version of the film was 3 hours, and Warner Brothers, due to having it play it multiple times in a theater in a day, they had to cut it down to 2.5 hours, which I think in hindsight they realized they either shouldn't have done, or during the script process they should have fine-tuned the movie a little bit more. I think more of the latter, but when dealing with that at the 11th hour, you kind of have to just release the film that is the best version, not necessarily which is the shortest, because you're going to end up hurting yourself. Yeah, you think, oh, we're going to get one extra screen per day, we'll make more money. You actually made less money because the final product wasn't as well received as you wanted it to be. So trying to curb that, they brought a lot of people out. They brought Steve Weintraub from Collider. They brought Peter Sciretta from Slash Film. They brought Devin Faraci, who I found out blocked me. He blocked me. I went to search his Twitter feed just because he was actually linked in a story, and then it said you're blocked from viewing his tweets, which I thought was really funny. That to me means he's probably seen one of my videos where I ranted about him, and all I took away from that was, holy crap, Devin Faraci watched one of my videos. The head of Birth Movie's death, as much of a fact as I don't necessarily like the guy, I don't think that he's in the right business. I think that he seriously needs to go in for some counseling. Now, again, that's all based on his text persona, the persona that I get either in his Twitter or in his articles. When I see him in videos and I see him talking, I don't know, he seems like he's kind of happy, but he also seems like he's a curmudgeon. But I thought it was funny that he blocked me. But Humberto Gonzalez from Heroic Hollywood and a bunch of other people got a chance to go out to the London set of Justice League and got to talk with the producers, got to talk with Ben Affleck and Zack Snyder and Deborah Snyder and Michael Wilkinson, the production designer, or he's the production designer, I believe. Oh no, he might be the costume designer. I think he's the costume designer. But yeah, they got to see the War Room. They got to see all this production art. They got to see a couple of scenes from the film. The main thing that they took away from it was, this is a 180. This is an exact quote from their breakdown as well. It's a 180 from BVS. This is a tonal shift. The movie is lighter from what they saw. Again, this is all based on the scenes that they saw. They specifically said that the production art was very similar to the look of BVS. Now, they also said that the dates of all those production arts were done before BVS opened. So most likely, the production art, well, yes, the structure of the framing, the set design, and all that stuff is going to be the same. They are going to either brighten up the look. I didn't have a problem with it being dark, like visually dark. I didn't care about that. It's the Justice League. It's Batman. It's someone who lives in the shadows. But when you have characters like Cyborg and the Flash and Aquaman, it is going to need to be brighter. So from what I've been told, they brightened it up. It's got more humor in it. From the scene descriptions that they had, the Flash looks like he's going to be the comic relief. I think that he and Cyborg are both going to be the comic relief, but I think Cyborg's going to be the straight man because he's a cyborg. I don't think he's going to have all that much humor, but a little bit of Victor Stone I still think is going to bleed through. Even though it's only like here up that is left of him. Everything else is Cyborg. But getting into a couple of the specifics, like they talked about the Flash suit and how different it is from the TV version. Now, I am hoping that this is a rudimentary version of the suit, because they said it's got like wires and stuff like that coming out of it to explain the electricity. When he runs, there's electricity that's generated. I have a feeling that that's only going to be on the prototype suit that he himself made, and that the one that he gets from Wayne Tech hopefully won't have that, at least the wires. Because the lightning, he just generates that when he runs, so I hope they don't have to do that too much. But explaining like all the new bat tech, like, I mean, we've got what they call the Nightcrawler, or was it here? I had it written down. The Nightcrawler is a Batmobile-like vehicle, but instead of 4 wheels, it's got like these 4 giant mechanical legs, and it's an all-terrain type vehicle, so it can maneuver over buildings and up walls and through tunnels, and like it's really kind of an all-purpose vehicle. I'm really excited to see, and it does, every time it impacts, it does damage to the ground. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to utilize this for. Apparently, the slight spoiler alert, apparently the production photos showed that it would be involved in some sort of big tunnel sequence. And that's where the parademons are hiding, is inside this underground tunnel that links Metropolis and Gotham. So there's going to be a big action set piece that's set in there. That sounds really cool. Like, that sounds something that we haven't really seen before. At least, you know, I can't even comprehend what this is going to look like on screen, because I've seen all the DC animated films. And BVS to me was very much like a live action DC animated film. It played up the geek cred for me. I know a lot of people who are into the comics that didn't like it, and I don't understand that aspect of it, because to me it was a comic book come to life. Like, visually, the way that everything looked, the way the characters looked, some of the dialogue could have been better, but this to me just screams more of a DC animated film. But at the same time, I also can't even fathom how it's going to look. Like, I'm so excited about it. I think that they're doing a really great job with getting the hype up. I think doing this was brilliant. Like, I mean, another big change. Well, they confirmed a couple of things. They confirmed Steppenwolf is the villain. They haven't cast him yet, because they haven't got the deal yet. Apparently they have cast him. The deals just isn't signed yet. So that'll come out probably in the next couple of weeks. This is a standalone film. It's not a part 1 of part 2, much like what they're doing with, excuse me, a couple burps here. Much like what they're doing with Avengers Infinity War. They're doing Infinity War and then whatever part 2 is going to be called. But they're standalone films. It's not going to end on a cliffhanger per se. And so same with this. This is not going to end on a cliffhanger per se. So Mother Boxes, which we saw briefly in the Cyborg sequence of the theatrical version of BVS, and then in the extended version, we've already seen the scene, but the scene where Steppenwolf himself is holding the 3 Mother Boxes and then disappears. Those are the MacGuffins. Those are the Infinity Stones of the DC universe. So apparently the Atlanteans have one, the Amazonians have one, and the humans have one. And they need to come together and protect them, because Steppenwolf is trying to come after them in order to access boom tubes, which are essentially wormholes between Earth and Apocalypse, which is where Darkseid is. Darkseid is like the all-encompassing villain. He's the Thanos of the DC universe, even though, from my understanding, which one came first? One of them came first, and they were the antithesis of the other version. I think that Darkseid came first, and Thanos was made after him. But Thanos will have appeared first in the film, so then Darkseid will seem like he's a copy of Thanos, and it's just going to be chaotic. Fans are going to have a nightmare. But the other thing, too, the main thing that I took away from the set visit, outside of the really cool vehicles, because he's also got the Flying Fox, which is like the, what do they call it? The bus, I guess they call it on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's going to be just like that, but Justice League's version of it, a lot more advanced, absolutely. But it's their flying headquarters. It's like a Quinjet, or not it's a bigger Quinjet, a smaller helicarrier. The headquarters for the Justice League. And then he's got an upgraded Batmobile with more machine guns and rocket launchers, because they're fighting parademons. They're fighting intergalactic monsters, okay? Don't have a problem with Batman having machine guns on his car this time, because he's fighting aliens. He needs help, okay? He's not a superhuman. He has his gadgets, and you can only go so far with a smoke bomb, because anyway. But the biggest change does come from Batman, at least from what they were told at the set visit. So he will have changed significantly after the end of BVS. Now, apparently, the death of Superman, spoiler alert, the death of Superman has fundamentally changed him as a character. He feels like he failed Superman in life. Now, the way that I look at it is, even though it was a very short time, again, we're getting into spoilers for the end of BVS, even though it was a very short time between when Batman and Superman decided to team up and then the ending of that film, I think that it was the fact that he went from hating this alien creature and seeing him as a foreigner to this planet and not welcome here, to somebody who then sacrifices himself for humanity, even though a lot of humanity doesn't even want him there. It doesn't matter to him. He needs to save these people. The people need to be saved, and he's somebody who can do it. He's going to do it, even if it means sacrificing his own life. And that is something that fundamentally changed Bruce Wayne to the point now where he has a new vision of hope. He has more hope. I mean, he can look at something and is more optimistic. He is now with Diana Prince, who's Wonder Woman, going and recruiting the Justice League. So here's my assumption. He recruits Flash first. And then after that, Cyborg. He goes to Victor Stone. And then Victor Stone's father, Silas Stone, I believe, gets kidnapped. And then Aquaman comes into the fray. And then about 2/3 of the way through the movie, Superman comes back. And then we have the 6 Justice League members, followed by either at the end of this Justice League or at the beginning of Justice League 2, we're going to be introduced to Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart. And then that will be the Unite the Seven. We'll get the full Justice League! But that's not coming for at least another couple of years, because Justice League Part 2, or Justice League 2, whatever they're going to call it, isn't until summer of 2019. So we still have 3 more years until that happens. But with all of these set visits, basically like combining everything that we've talked about, I mean, this movie is just, it's sounds like it's full of optimism. It's full of hope. It's going to have fun. It's going to have humor. I'm excited for it. Like, I was excited for BVS before and after I saw it. I am so excited for next week to watch the Ultimate Edition. I think that's going to fix a lot of problems. It's still going to be a dark film. This is going to be the one that we've been waiting for, and that's even what the producers said. They said whether this was in hindsight or whether this was actually how they had their original vision. But they said that we had to get through this to get to where we wanted to be. This was the story that we wanted to tell. But in order for it to have the emotional relevance that it needed, we needed to tell these stories. Now, the darkest chapters are behind us. That is a specific quote from Deborah Snyder. The darkest chapters are behind us, which means everything else is going to be not necessarily brighter, but it's going to have more fun. I don't think lighthearted. I think it's going to be more fun. And at the end of the day, that's all I care about from film. From a movie standpoint, I don't care if it's Shakespearean. I don't care if it's filled with shit jokes. I don't care. If it's fun, if I have fun watching it, then I'm okay. I'm good. That's all I want from it. That's why I've enjoyed the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies. They're not good movies, but they're fun. I have fun watching them, and I choose to go back to watch them again because they're fun. Yes, they're dumb, but they're fun. That's all they need to be. I don't need a history lesson. I don't need to be educated. I don't need to see the perfect shot, although it helps. It does help, but it doesn't need to be there. They don't need to strive for that every time. It's one of the reasons why I feel like a lot of these movies, they are getting too serious to a point. We need more fun. And that's, I think, what we're getting from Justice League. We're going to get a lot more information next month at Comic-Con. We're going to get the full first lineup. We might get a little bit of footage. It won't be officially released at all. But, I mean, we're going to get a really good idea about what this movie is going to be like. So I'm very excited. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And when we get more information about Justice League, I will definitely update you guys on here. Well, that'll about do it for us here on Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have been a great audience. Go ahead and click that subscribe button there in the bottom corner. You get updates whenever a new video is posted. You can also follow me on Twitter or Facebook at Niklsun, Niklsun, for all of your movie updates. And also like our Facebook fan page at facebook.com/movie news with Niklsun. If you ever have a topic or question like I've talked about on the show, go ahead and email me at movienewswithniklsun@gmail.com or put a comment in the comment section. But until next time, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.